Food is a drug, no different than heroin, no different than cocaine, no different than meth, no different than crack. It's all the same. It's the same trip. It's all just different drugs that have different effects. And you know, like pretty much if you go on a three-day fast and you're experiencing fatigue, tiredness, irritability, and perhaps even acne and breakouts and some stuff like that. Really, how different is that from the withdrawal symptoms of somebody who's addicted to heroin or crack? Not that different at all. Not that different at all. Because it's really the same thing. Food is a drug. And it's very, 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 very addictive. It's gotta be at least on the same level as heroin. Heroin's very addictive. Probably more addictive than heroin. Now I can hear you in the background saying, "Oh, Saeed, you're full of shit. You know, we need food to survive. We have a digestive system. We have teeth. You know, they're capable of chewing down the food. Digestive system capable of digesting the food. But guess what? That same digestive system is also capable of processing heroin and cocaine, crack. It's the same digestive system. It's capable of digesting heroin. It's capable of digesting cocaine, and then producing whatever effects come about from these drugs. Same thing. It's capable of digesting foods. It's capable of digesting a chocolate bar, capable of digesting a piece of fruit, capable of digesting a piece of meat. Okay, does that mean that this is the way humans are built for sustenance? Not necessarily. That digestive system you have, these teeth you have, they have other functions, other purposes too. And one of them is giving you, a human being, the capacity to experience, because food is an experience, cocaine is an experience, heroin is an experience. They're all things that you could experience. So you're equipped with the tools necessary to give you the experience of the taste of a chocolate bar, the taste of a piece of fruit, the taste of a piece of meat. Really, like that just because you can digest food doesn't mean you should eat every day. Just because you could digest cocaine doesn't mean you should snort cocaine every day. You see what I'm saying? Now, okay, there's another argument. I can hear you in the background saying, but Saeed, look, you know, a baby comes out and the first thing they want to do is reach their mom's titty. You know, the first thing they want to do is they want to consume milk from their mom's titty. That's their instinct. That's their program. Well, okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I can go with you and say, yeah, okay, a baby is designed for their mom's milk. But even at some point, the baby turns down their mom's titty. Okay, just naturally, instinctually. And at this point, you might say, well, okay, does that mean at that point they don't need food anymore? Not necessarily. You could go and start consuming the bigger mother, which is the Mother Earth. But at some point, because all of it is stages of evolution, where the whole game is evolution. Evolution of consciousness. It's evolution. It's going from separation to wholeness, from separation to oneness. So at some point, you naturally and instinctually also turn down the mom's titty, aka Gaia, Mother Earth, and stop consuming the mother altogether and go to the father. And the father is consciousness. That father is you. That father is the wholeness that we're talking about, the oneness that we're talking about. And anybody who is living in oneness no longer needs to consume food. So the breatharians that are alive right now, one example is Eli Tamil Amin. He doesn't eat, he doesn't drink. he's reached a level where he's living in oneness all the time. And because he's living in oneness all the time, he no longer needs to consume something, because he doesn't need to, because he's no longer living in separation consciousness. Because as long as you're living in separation consciousness, you perceive everything is separate from you. You feel the need to consume something, because that something is not you, it's something else that's going to give you energy. Now you might say, but when I eat I get energy. You know, 3 days I haven't eat, I feel energized. Well, try and snort cocaine also. If you're addicted to cocaine and you haven't done cocaine in 3 days, and you're gonna feel pretty energized too. Now, you ever ask yourself, why do you eat? Why do you sleep? You sleep 8-9 hours. Well, because you got a food hangover, a food coma. Your body's got to deal with the food. It's got to deal with the drug. It's got to deal with the waste products that comes from the food. Why else do you shit? You shit because your body has to secrete, it has to deal with the waste byproducts of the... You're basically asking your body, you're saying, look body, I want to experience the taste of this particular piece of fruit or this chocolate bar. Alright, so here's the deal. I'm gonna experience the taste, then knock me out for 8 hours so that you could deal with the toxins, so you could deal with the waste. And then the body says, I guess if that's what you want me to do, I mean that's the experience you want to have right now, right? Alright, let's do it. Because what happens when you fast and then you start to live off the prana, of the energy of the universe, and you live in oneness and wholeness, is because you no longer need to eat. You're sleeping 2-3 hours. You don't need all that much, because you're no longer having the experience of tasting a particular food, of having the taste of food. That experience is not on the menu anymore. And because it's not on the menu anymore, you operate differently. You're no longer needing to sleep all that much. You're having to experience different types of experience in the universe. Because you're God, having the experience of a human, you're equipped with all these different tools, with all these different senses: sight, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. And you're equipped with these senses to experience this universe, this plane of existence, however you want to experience it. So look, if you want to experience food, if you want to experience eating, by all means. If you want to experience that drug, the whole world is basically designed for that right now. I mean, look, I'm living in practically a resort here. You know, Koh Phangan. It's a touristy island. And all people do here is eat. They come on vacation to eat. Mostly, I mean, they're doing these other things, but for the most part, it's all linked with food. You know, you've got all these restaurants on the beaches, on the resorts. Pretty much anywhere you go here that has a nice view, there's gonna be a restaurant there linked with it, because the program is, if you want to enjoy a nice view, you might as well enjoy it with a drug. Okay? So, look, nobody's stopping you from experiencing the drug food. Nobody's stopping you from experiencing anything. Just understand and realize it comes with a price. And that price is the hangover of sleep, pretty much. That's the price, sleep, the hangover. And the fatigue and the tiredness that comes from... Because this food drug, you could experience it on different levels. If you experience it in the form of fruits, well, the body recovers a lot quicker. It needs less sleep, less energy required to rid of the waste byproducts of experiencing that drug. But don't kid yourself for a second and look at it as a necessity, because it's not a necessity. There's natural cycles of evolution. Just like a baby turns down her mom's titty at some point, starts consuming Gaia, the mother, but at some point, at some point the natural evolution, this is why there more and more now as we ascend the consciousness, there are breatharians more and more living on the earth, and more so in the future. And Ray Moore, who's another breatharian, you can watch him on YouTube, he did a reading with a channel called Bashar. A channel is somebody who channels Bashar, right? It channels a non-physical entity. And Bashar told him that in 50 years, 10% of the world's population is going to be breatharian, which is not a surprise at all. This is our natural state. But he told him, yeah, in 50 years, 10% of the world's population will be breatharian, sustained off subtler forms of food, if you will, subtler forms of energy, because we're going through an ascension phase. And it's not a surprise that you see more and more people like this, because you start to realize this natural evolution cycles. And so after a while, just like a baby turns down his mom's titty, at some point you say, well, I don't want to keep consuming my mother, Gaia, the bigger mother. I don't want to keep consuming her forever. I want to care for her. I want to, I want to love her and admire her and enjoy her, but I don't no longer want to keep consuming her. And then naturally, you also turn down your mom's titty, that's Gaia, and you say, well, I am whole, I am perfect, I don't really need to consume anything. And you realize that the consumption is just a program. You come as a baby in your program, it's a program. You're programmed to reach for your mom's titty, and then you turn that, and then the program runs out. You're no longer consuming your mom's milk, your mom's titty's milk. Then there's another program running which is consuming the bigger mother, Mother Gaia. And at some point in your evolution, you turn down Gaia's titty too. That is whatever Gaia gives you. And just recognize that so as long as you're consuming the food drug, there are certain variations of that drug that are going to be less harmful, less toxic, and less wasteful, and require less energy from your body. Let's just say the hangover from these foods is going to be less, and those foods would be basically your fruits. And the denser and denser you go into the drugs, like meats and stuff, the more of a hangover there's going to be. Okay? But don't kid yourself for a second and think you need food or it's a necessity, something necessary. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, you have teeth, you have a digestive system. They can deal with the food, they can digest the food. They come with a price, which is a hangover, aka sleep. Your digestive system is also capable of digesting and processing other drugs like heroin, like crack, cocaine, and many other drugs. Okay, doesn't mean you should do them every day, if at all, that is, right? You could go experience them. You're God having a human experience, and if you want to keep experiencing food, by all means, I still do. Okay, I'm a fellow drug addict just like you, and I can't think of a drug more addictive than food, because it's so ingrained. It's like, and by the way, the designers of the Matrix, the architects of this Matrix, they know this. They know this. They know this, and they capitalize on this very much. And this slavery system, this system that we're in, this matrix that we're in, this reptilian, draconian matrix, these people know, man. They know all this. They know that humans are naturally breatharians. They know we're consciousness. They know we're whole. But they further act upon the programming of eating and consuming, and that's why it's all over the place. It's all in your face. Every place you go here, like I'm in the island, Koh Phangan, every resort is packed with restaurants, packed with like places to go and eat. Because again, that's the program, that's the way it's running. It's a drug, it's just a drug, and the architects of the Matrix know this, and they capitalize on it in the name of this is a necessity, that you will die without it. Some people die without their heroin. Their withdrawal symptoms are too severe. And then some people will also die without food because the withdrawal symptoms are too severe. The programming is too strong. And the problem is that it's linked with survival. That's the program that you're running off, that I need this to survive. That's why some people die without their heroin, because the program of I need heroin to survive is too strong. And without it, they die. Because the belief is too strong that I need heroin to live. Without heroin, they die. And then for many people, most humans, the program of I need food to survive is so strong that they do indeed die without it. So that's about it. Thank you to all the Patreons for supporting this channel. You guys are awesome. And I absolutely love you. And if you would like to join the family and help me do this one day do this full time, I would absolutely love to do this full time at some point. And if you'd like to help me do that, you could do so. There's a link for the Patreon down below in the description. If you want to just make a one-time donation via PayPal, that option is available as well. So there's a link for that in the description. And yeah, that's about it. Until next time, may the force, and by the way, the force here is very strong. I'm talking about the beach specifically. The force of the beach is very strong. So may the force, wherever it is, however it's manifesting, be with you.